Hey everyone, it's Chris here, and if you're new to this channel, in these episodes we do take different Google Lighthouse and page speed insights issues related to your Webflow site, and I'm basically showing you how to fix them. So we're going to continue discussing different issues that are being triggered by one of many assets type inside your Webflow project, and that is your images. More specifically, we're going to cover image elements do not have explicit width and height. Now, solving this issue will literally take you seconds, but before I'm going to show you the solution, I just want to take one moment and discuss with you why, first and foremost, you have this issue with your Webflow page. So to better illustrate this, I have this quick Figma design right here. We have like an image and we have some elements at the bottom, and I also have like this red rectangle here. Now in web, believe me or not, but every single image have its very own box. And while the image is loading, that box is being used as a placeholder for that image. So if you don't have any width and height set to your image, what's going to happen is this container will not know exactly how much space, how many pixels in width and height it needs to allocate for this image once the browser starts downloading it. So if you don't have like the width and height attributes set up, this container will look something like this. Yeah, it's going to be empty. There's not going to be any width and any height set to it, which means that these elements at the bottom, they'll be somewhere here. Once the browser will start to download the image and basically paint every single pixel and go like this, well, these elements will get pushed to the bottom, creating another issue with the page speed insights, and that is cumulative layout shifts. Now let's go back to the same section I built inside the Webflow so you guys can see how this issue works inside the browser. So I have this page right here and I have the DevTools opened up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the network, and then within the network tab, I'm going to select slow 3G. Because I want to see how this page will load if someone has a slow 3G connection. And what we're going to do next is hit a quick reload here. Good. So as you can see, like we have this element centered, but then it gets pushed because the browser started to download this image. And that is simply happened because if we do inspect this image, right, and we're looking over the code, we can see that the width attribute and the height attribute is set to auto, which means that while this image is being downloaded, browser doesn't know what's the container, what's the placeholder width and height, and then later on creates this problem with cumulative layout shifts. Now let's discuss the solution. So we're going to go back to the Webflow and we're going to identify our image and we're going to double click on the image. This will open up the image settings. Within your image settings, you're going to see the width and the height fields. By default, Webflow sets them to auto. I don't know what's the reason why, but basically in this width and height, you need to set the same width and the same height that your image is having. So you can see mine has 2624 in width and it does have 1038 pixels in height. So basically I'm going to add the same values right here, 2624 in width and 1038 in height. But you might be wondering that my width and height is quite big, right? And that is because my image is in 2x resolution. So if you are exporting from Figma, if your image is there in 2x resolution, make sure you add here the 1x resolution. Now, if I go back to the Figma, I already have this image here. So all I'm going to do is just copy the width, which is 1312. I'm going to go back, paste it here and hit enter. And then for the height, I'm going to do the same thing, right? I'm going to go to the Figma. I'm going to have a look over the height and you can see that the height says 519. So I'm going to go back and do 519 here and hit enter. And the final thing I like to do is with the image selected, I go to my style panel, I navigate to the size and I set my height to auto. By default, Webflow tells you it's set to auto, but trust me, it's not actually set to auto. So you need to manually type the word auto. So now this height becomes auto. And this is important because otherwise the image will get skewed when you rescale your page. Now, if we publish our changes and we go back to our project and hit a quick reload with the same slow 3G applied, you're going to see that these elements will not get pushed to the top. You see, they remain at the bottom. And now the image loads and these elements are still at the same place. So now if we inspect this image, we can see that now it does have a width and it does have a height. And even if we would reload this page one more time, and while it's reloading, we're gonna inspect the container of this image, you're gonna see that the container is there. So I do hope this tutorial do make sense to you guys. If you're gonna have any questions, well, the YouTube comment section below is your best friend.